Okay, top of the morning to you on St. Patty's Day. Andy Lockwood here with College Coffee Talk, which I've renamed for one morning only College Irish Coffee Talk, not to imply that I'm drinking or that I even really like Irish coffee. I kind of do, but that wasn't the implication. So, College Coffee Talk is usually a costume-free 5 to 7 minute video that answers a question that we received in the last 2.5 years. I just did a webcast this weekend. I'm sorry, about 3 days ago. We got a whole bunch of questions there, and I'm trying to work my way through them. So, each day you can join us for College Coffee Talk. So today's question is about how to negotiate with a financial aid office, because I always like to talk about that, strategies that you can employ in order to get more money out of them after they have issued you their initial offer. So there's a few steps here. The first step is to realize that it's only an offer. It's not written in stone. A lot of people just figure they can't negotiate. You sort of get what you get and you don't get upset. So that's step number one. Step number two, and this is something that's I'm not really going chronologically. So the second thing to understand is that the best defense is good offense. So what I mean by that is colleges compete with each other. It's not just about kids chasing colleges around. Would you take me more seriously if I took this hat off? Okay. Kind of hurts anyway. I'm not an experienced Irish hat wearer. So colleges are under a lot of competitive pressure to attract the best qualified students. And again, this process is not just about kids doing whatever they need to do or they perceive they need to do, such as taking 12 AP classes, running track when they hate to sweat, and doing all sorts of extracurriculars that look good for college. So if you understand that colleges compete with each other, and then what you do with that information is apply to a handful of schools that compete with each other, then what you can do is kind of engineer this whole process so that they're chasing you around. Just switching my little camera thing here. So that's very important to understand. So the next thing is, ultimately, most colleges have an appeal process. But when it comes down to it, that appeal process almost always involves a written explanation or a letter of appeal. So the important thing to remember about a letter of appeal is that it's best to be, first of all, very gracious, not adversarial or outraged. You want to be on the same side of the bargaining table with them. The second thing is you want to reiterate to the school, and you have to do this in good faith, that college is the number one choice. Meaning, if money weren't the issue, then you would absolutely go there. The third thing to understand is that you want to highlight new information, not stuff they already know. Because if you just tell them stuff they already know, they're not really going to be too receptive, and they're not going to take your letter of appeal seriously. So let me give you an example of stuff they already know, and then the new stuff that can have a bearing on your appeal. So if you say something like, we live in a very expensive part of the country and our taxes are very high, that is not new information, because they know that they see your application, they see your zip code, they get that. Or we have 3 kids in college or 2 kids in college, it's very expensive. They know that also because they see that on the application too. The FAFSA and the CSS profile each ask about number of kids in college. What else? There's definitely other stuff that people try to say that is new information. Oh, we have kids who are going to be in college in a year or two, or I anticipate something in the future. So those are not facts that will really bear on your ability to pay currently, and that is one of the flaws if it's a flaw in the financial aid process. It's really predicated on, number one, here and now, and number two, what happened retrospectively. It's not about what's going to happen in the future, although there may be a few questions about that. It's heavily weighted on the here and now and what happened in the past. So that's the way it works. So what are some things that you can tell the college the college financial aid office, that will resonate with them? So I mentioned before, offers from other schools, particularly those offers that make the cost of attendance to attend those schools lower than your top choice school. So that's I always love having those arrows in the quiver, so to speak. Second thing is, what if you have some sort of unanticipated or something that happened since you filed the forms, or since the information that you were provided. So in other words, if you gave a tax return from last year, but since then you were laid off or your business took a downturn, that is new information. And the argument there is, listen, I know things look pretty rosy on our financial aid forms, but the reality of it is that we're not making the same money. So that is certainly a change in circumstances. That's very important. If you got divorced and you have all sorts of, your income is cut and you have all sorts of legal fees. If you have all sorts of medical expenses, maybe someone got sick, knock on wood, and you have all these unreimbursed medical expenses. Those are unanticipated expenses. Now, normally expenses are not part of the financial aid applications, but in this case, they are extraordinary, and they the case I'm trying to describe to you, and they bear directly on your ability to pay for college. So those are three really good examples. And I guess the last thing, the last tip that I want to leave you with today, before I change out of my St. Patrick's Day clothing, is that you want to ask. You want to say something like, listen, if you could possibly meet or exceed these other offers, my son or my daughter is 100% absolutely positively coming to your college. But we're only considering these other offers for financial reasons, not for any other reason. This is her number one top choice school. And again, say that in good faith. Don't say that to 5 colleges. I'm a little superstitious about that. I don't know exactly how that could, it is a small community, so a lot of these guys know each other. They go to the same conferences and things like that. So don't risk it. Play fair. Play ethical. Okay, well, I hope this helped. I hope you enjoyed our special St. Paddy's Day edition of College Irish Coffee Talk. Please like and please share. Please share this information with anyone that you think would benefit from this. Listen, we're starting to get a lot of good comments from people who say that they enjoy these, so I really do appreciate those. This is, like I said, this is sort of an experiment that I started a couple of months ago, and I'm intending to do this until we run out of questions. And right now it looks like there's no questions in sight, so that's either good or bad news depending on, on your perspective of these college coffee talks. All right, so have a great weekend. Have a safe St. Paddy's Day, and enjoy the March Madness. I'm enjoying March Madness. I hope you are. I love all the nicknames. Jackrabbits. I think yesterday I was watching the Catamounts versus the Boilermakers, Vermont versus Purdue. My bracket is already busted because I always pick based on financial aid generosity, so I had chosen Princeton to go very deep, and they lost to Notre Dame, who's also very generous. So it's very, very interesting to me how there's a lot of very, very generous colleges in the field this year. It doesn't always work out that way, but this year is looking pretty good for scholarships and grants, at least based on the percentage of financial need awarded. That's how I fill out my bracket. I know it's kind of dorky. All right, thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.